Hello and good morning. You're watching Doordarshan News and this is the news for Hearing Impaired. I'm Nancy Kohli and with me is Manisha. Let's begin with the headlines. Giving a boost to the Indian Air Force and the country's security, the first batch of 5 Rafale fighter jets from France to land at Ambala Air Force Station today. All the security arrangements in place around the Ambala Air Force Station. Prime Minister Modi to join the stakeholders from the banks and the non-banking financial companies today to discuss vision and the roadmap for future. A host of issues like credit products, financial empowerment through technology, prudential practices for stability and sustainability of the financial sector to be deliberated upon. World Tiger Day being observed today. On the eve of the day, the Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar releases 4th detailed report of the All India Tiger Estimates 2018. Says India now in a leadership role in the tiger conservation. The survey technology to be used for the first time for effective fodder and water augmentation in the forest area. COVID-19 recovery cases in India continue to rise as over 9.52 lakh patients cured and discharged. The case fatality rate further improves to 2.25%. The global COVID-19 cases rise over 16.8 million with 6.62 deaths. The United States leads the chart with near 4.5 million cases and over 1.52 lakh deaths. The flood situation eases a little in Assam after some gap in the rainfall in the past few days. The number of affected districts comes down to 21 and the number of affected villages also comes down. In Bihar, the flood situation continues to be grim in 12 districts with few more blocks becoming inundated. SDRF and the NDRF teams engaged in rescue and relief work. Our top story, India is all set and ready to welcome the first batch of 5 Rafale jets in Ambala today. Adequate security arrangements have been made around the Ambala Air Force Station. The 5 best in their class fighter jets is the first tranche of 36 planes bought by India from France in a 59,000 crore rupee intergovernmental deal in 2016. The world's most sophisticated fighter jets will add to country's air power capability and give India a strategic edge over the enemy. The Rafale is capable of carrying a range of potent weapons. In October last year, Defence Minister Sushant Singh accepted the first Rafale manufactured by Dassault Aviation. He also saw for himself the Rafale's immense capabilities from the sky. All 36 aircraft will be delivered on schedule by the end of 2021. Prime Minister Modi will join stakeholders from the banks and the NBFCS to discuss and deliberate on the vision and the roadmap for the future today evening. The topics on the agenda include credit products and efficient models for delivery, financial empowerment through technology, prudential practices for stability and sustainability of the financial sector. The banking sector plays an important role in contributing to India's economic growth through financing infrastructure, agriculture, local manufacturing including the MSMEs. Financial inclusion can play a big role in the financial empowerment through technology. Senior officers from the government will also be a part of the interaction. The Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar said that India is ready to take a leadership role and work with other tiger range countries for the management of the tiger reserves. Kickstarting celebrations of the Global Tigers Day 2020 on the eve of International Tiger Day, the minister said that India is proud of its achievements and despite the scarcity of land and rainfall, it boasts of 8% of the world's biodiversity. During the event, the minister also released the detailed report of the 4th All India Tiger Estimation. He said, "This is India's soft power, which we must portray." Highlighting the keystone nature of the tiger, a poster on the presence of small wild cats was also released. The use of technology has been the main new innovation for Tiger Survey that used the M-Stripes mobile application across 491 forest divisions. The information generated by this exercise serves to provide valuable inputs to guide policy and management. And updates now on the COVID-19 recovery cases in India that continue to rise as over 9.52 lakh patients have been cured and discharged so far. The active cases in the country stands at 4,96,988, while 9,52,743 patients have been cured and discharged so far. 33,425 have died so far. India's case fatality rate is progressively falling and currently is at 2.25%. India continues its march as a country with one of the lowest fatality rates in the world. And let's now take a look at the worst affected states from COVID-19 in the country. In Maharashtra, 10,333 patients were discharged yesterday. 7,770 new cases were reported in the state in the past 24 hours. Currently, there are 1,44,694 active patients in Maharashtra. In Tamil Nadu, 6,972 persons tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday. 88 deaths were reported, while 4,707 patients were discharged in the past 24 hours. The total number of cases in Tamil Nadu so far stands at 2,27,688. In the national capital, Delhi, 1,056 new cases of infection were recorded yesterday, while 28 patients died in the past 24 hours. 1,135 patients have recovered in the past 24 hours as well. In Kerala, complete lockdown has been extended in Thiruvananthapuram corporation area until further notice. The Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said that the state has 7 large community clusters and lockdown has been extended to contain the serious situation. 72-hour lockdown was imposed on Monday, but as situation demands, the lockdown has been further extended. Meanwhile, the district collector said that shops and business establishments will be allowed to function from 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening, with implementing social distancing measures. Senior citizens will be given a separate time period for shopping between 4 to 6 in the evening. These relaxations are not applicable to areas designated as critical containment zones and the coastal areas of the district. The West Bengal government has extended the bi-weekly lockdown till 31st of August to curb the COVID-19 spread in the state. There will be a complete shutdown across the state for 2 days every week. The state government implemented the bi-weekly lockdown last week and will witness lockdown today. While in August, there will be strict lockdown across the state on 9 days. That will be 2nd, 5th, 8th, 9th, 16th, 17th, 23rd, 24th and 31st of August. The lockdown in the containment zone has also been extended till 31st of August. The bi-weekly lockdown will be implemented mostly on Saturdays and Sundays. All the government and the private offices, commercial establishments, public and private transport will remain shut. Only the essential services will be functional. The intrastate and interstate goods movements and the home delivery of the cooked food will be permitted. The government has eased the export policy of personal protection equipment and masks. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry in a notification said that 2/3 ply surgical masks amended to remain prohibited from restricted category with a cap 4 crore unit per month. while the medical goggles also has been amended from restricted to prohibited category with a cap of 20 lakhs per month. The export of face shield has been made free. And shifting focus now to the flood situation in Assam, which has seen slight improvement due to a little gap in the rainfall in the past few days. The number of districts affected by the floods have now come down to 21. At present, nearly 20 lakh people are still affected by the floods, while one more death due to drowning was reported in the Golaghat district, taking the toll to 204. The number of villages affected by the floods have also come down to 1,771, though the highest number of villages that are still submerged is 303 in the Moregaon district. Yesterday, the State Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal visited the Brahmaputra River and Subansiri erosion sites in Lakhimpur district. He also took stock of the ongoing reconstruction work of the embankments in the district. While in Bihar, the flood situation has further deteriorated as 30 panchayats of Samastipur districts have become flood affected. The number of flood affected districts has risen to 12. Over 29 lakh people are facing the wrath of floods in the state. So far, 2.62 lakh people have been evacuated from the marooned areas. 26 relief camps and 800 community kitchens are being run in the affected areas. 26 teams of the SDRF and the NDRF are engaged in relief and rescue work. The water level of the Gandak River is still rising in Samastipur, Rosta and Khagadia. The Met Department has predicted moderate to heavy rainfall in Purnia, Kishanganj, Araria and Katihar during the next 24 hours. Moving on now, the BJP National President JP Nadda yesterday held a video conferencing with the chief ministers of the BJP ruled states. He took stock of the COVID situation in respective states and also discussed the future strategy. He stressed that the battle against COVID is long and any relaxed approach could backfire. He also appreciated the services rendered by the party workers during the lockdown period. The meeting also saw discussion on several welfare measures announced by the Prime Minister for street vendors under the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Trivendra Rawat, Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Jairam Thakur, Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa, besides others, attended the meeting. Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri also attended the meeting. The Madurai bench of the Madras High Court has asked the CBI to file a status report on the Thoothukudi custodial deaths case in a sealed cover on 17th August. The CBCID, which handled the investigations, initially filed a status report before the court yesterday. The mobile shop owner Jai Raj and his son Benix were arrested by police in the Santhankulam town in Thoothukudi district for allegedly violating the lockdown on 19th June. The father-son duo was allegedly tortured during police custody, leading to their deaths 3 days later. After the Madurai bench took suo motu cognizance of the case, 10 policemen have been arrested so far. Meanwhile, COVID-19 has struck the ongoing probe with 7 sleuths from the CBI and 2 accused policemen from the Satankolam police station testing positive for COVID-19. And in the Kerala gold smuggling case, the NIA interrogated the former principal secretary of the Kerala Chief Minister M. Shivashankar for the second day yesterday in Kochi. The interrogation went on for about 10.5 hours. His alleged links with some of the accused in the diplomatic baggage gold smuggling case is being probed. On Monday, he was interrogated for over 9 hours at the NIA office in Kochi. And in a recent turn of events in actor Sushant Singh Rajput's death case, his father has lodged a police complaint against actress Riya Chakraborty and 6 others, including her family members, accusing them of abetting the actor's suicide. An FIR was lodged on the basis of the bereaved father's complaint under various sections of the IPC, including those pertaining to the abetment of suicide and fraud. Actor Sushant Singh Rajput was found dead on the 14th of June at his Mumbai apartment. The IRCTC and SBI Card together launched their new co-branded contactless credit card on RuPay platform. The new credit card was dedicated to the service of the nation yesterday by the Union Railways Minister Piyush Goyal. Speaking on the occasion, the minister said that he is strongly committed towards making railways Atmanirbhar in all the fields with Make in India initiatives as envisaged by the Prime Minister. With the aim to offer a safe transaction environment to the customers, the new RuPay credit card is equipped with the near-field communication technology, whereby the users can expedite their transactions at the POS machines by just tapping the card on the machine without requiring to even swipe the card. The cardholders will receive up to 10% value back on the bookings made at the IRCTC website, and there is online transaction fee waiver too. The users of the card will receive 350 bonus reward points upon activation of the card with a minimum spent. Overall, the card aims to ensure a safe, convenient and improved travel experience for the rail passengers. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman yesterday attended the 5th annual meeting of the Board of Governors of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank as lead speaker. The minister appreciated its efforts for fast-tracking financial assistance of about $10 billion to its member countries, including India, to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. She mentioned about Prime Minister Modi's initiative of creating a COVID-19 emergency fund for the SAARC nations and India's efforts in supplying critical medical health kits to tackle the COVID-19 and now supporting the global efforts of COVID-19 vaccine trials. The Finance Minister mentioned that to give a boost to the infrastructure development, India has launched the National Infrastructure Pipeline 2020-25 with estimated expenditure of $1.4 trillion that has created a plethora of fresh investment opportunities for its partnerships. And let's now take a look at the updates on COVID-19 from across the world. Coronavirus has claimed the lives of over 6.63 lakh people worldwide, while more than 1.68 crore have contracted the infection so far. Over 1 crore people have recovered worldwide. US and Brazil remain the worst affected in terms of COVID-19 infections and fatalities. The US has so far recorded over 44.98 lakh cases and over 1.52 lakh deaths, while Brazil has crossed the 24 lakh mark and recorded over 24.84 lakh infections with a death toll surging past 88,000 deaths. And talking of the death toll worldwide, the US and Brazil are followed by the UK with over 45,878 fatalities, further followed by Mexico and Italy. 4 US states in the south and west reported one-day record for COVID-19 deaths yesterday. The cases in Texas passed the 400,000 mark. Arkansas, Florida, Montana and Oregon each reported record spike in fatalities. California remains the most affected after recording over 4.74 lakh total cases of COVID-19. Florida saw 186 coronavirus deaths in the 24 hours, its highest single-day rise yet, and over 9,000 fresh cases of COVID-19. In Brazil, Rio de Janeiro's traditional annual New Year's Eve celebrations have been called off for this year due to COVID-19 pandemic hitting the local tourism hard. The fireworks display attracts millions of tourists every year to Copacabana Beach. As of the present situation, the city's tourism office is preparing for a virtual celebration. Brazil is the second worst hit country by the pandemic after the US, globally after the US with over 24.84 lakh cases of the disease and the death toll surging past 88,000. Rio de Janeiro has the second highest death toll in Brazil. Many parts of Brazil have begun reopening certain segments of society despite tallying tens of thousands of new cases of the virus daily. The Italian Prime Minister has asked Parliament to extend a state of emergency which expands his government's powers as it tackles the COVID-19 health crisis. Addressing the Senate, he said the virus continues to evolve and has not run its course. It would be incongruous to abruptly suspend such an effective measure. However, he drew back from requesting an extension until the end of the year, saying he only wanted a renewal until October. The Italian Prime Minister had announced a 6-month state of emergency on 31st Jan when the first 2 cases of COVID-19 were confirmed in Rome. Meanwhile, Italy also prepares schools to reopen in September after being shut for 6 months. Italy has been one of the worst affected countries in Europe, registering more than 35,000 deaths and around 246,500 cases. However, new infections have fallen sharply over the past 3 months. After UK's quarantine move and a travel warning from France, Germany has become the latest country to advise people not to travel in the parts of Spain due to surge in the virus cases. The German authorities warn against non-essential travel to the autonomous communities of Aragon, Catalonia and Navarra after areas witnessed the high levels of infections and local lockdowns. Earlier, Norway also urged its citizens not to visit Spain's worst-hit Catalonia. Meanwhile, the Spain Prime Minister hit back on UK's decision to impose 14-day quarantine and termed it as unjust. However, the UK government said it has no plans to change its decision to reintroduce the quarantine measures. Hong Kong is introducing some of its toughest measures yet to control the coronavirus following a sustained peak in new cases. The measures to be imposed from today include dining in the restaurants banned and only 2 people from different households can meet each other. Face masks must also be worn in all the public places. Hong Kong, which had seen early success against COVID-19, is now regularly reporting over 100 new daily cases. The World Tourism Organization data has provided an insight into the impact of the pandemic both in the tourist numbers and the lost revenues. The latest edition of the UNWTO World Tourism Barometer shows that the near-complete lockdown imposed in response to the pandemic led to a 98% fall in the international tourist numbers in May when compared to 2019. The barometer also shows a 56% year-on-year drop in the tourist arrivals between January and May. This translates into a fall of 300 million tourists and $320 billion lost in international tourism receipts. That's more than 3 times the loss during the global economic crisis of 2009. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. Thanks for being with us.